Hello, traders. It's 8:02 a.m. Chicago time, and that's a.m. Central Standard Time. We have switched our time here to Standard Time yesterday. Thanks for joining me today on episode number 1870. Today is Monday. Happy Monday. Happy start of the week. Very, very busy week this week. We'll see what comes out of it. I want to remind everyone that derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Remember, none of what I'm communicating is a recommendation to trade, and so on and so forth. The first thing I want to do, of course, is remind everybody that I'm hosting. This started out as just me doing an impromptu kind of like, let's just get on and chat while I'm sitting in front of the markets for the election. This is something that the guys from EdgeClear were planning to do anyway. So it started out that way, but now this event, this election live webcast has become a full production. We've got about 10 guests coming on at various times between 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and midnight during the election process. All professional traders or professionals in the industry, including Philip Capital, Pax Trader, Anne Marie Trades, potentially even Alpha Trends. He's traveling and hopes to make it, but we'll see. And all of them are going to be coming on and talking about the election, the market action, simply from a trader's perspective. To join this, you need to go to ft71.com / 2020 election. That's how you join. Here's the link. The link is also in the description of the video. In the description of the video, you can go find it there. And it's also on my Twitter. You can find it at twitter.com / futures trader 71. You don't have to be registered to see that. Anyway, I'll bring this up later on as well. This is for tomorrow. This is one of the most important elections in years, and a big event for this week. In addition to this, there are several other things coming on this week that that are likely to push us around. So the election tomorrow, there's a lot that can happen there. And then on Wednesday we have balanced trade out of the U.S. And then on Thursday we have the Fed interest rate decision on Thursday, November 5th at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. I don't think this calendar is correct. Hang on one second. Okay, got it. So Fed rate decision on Thursday, the 5th of November at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then on Friday, we have non-farm payrolls and unemployment in the U.S. Very, very busy week. BOE interest rate decision as well on Thursday at 7 a.m. And who knows what the rest of the week will look like. If you watch the news and the media, it would lead you to believe that we may not survive the apocalypse of the election. It's just pretty crazy. The heat's turned all the way up on this thing. I think it's kind of funny actually how grown-ups behave when they believe that there's a risk. As far as the market sentiment this morning, the risk allocation, the markets allocating to risk this morning, we're seeing the European markets leading. The Euro Stoxx 50 up 58 points, up almost 2%. The DAX is up 212 points, up 1.83%. The Dow's got 342 points higher from Friday's settlement. The Russell's up 18.6. The S&P opening in a gap higher at 33. The S&P is coming back into its major balance zone at 33.40. The high 33.22.50. And gold is, which has been taking a little bit of a hit, is up $7.60, 1887.50. Crude oil continues to lag. Crude oil's off 50 cents, trading at 35.29 on the December WTI contract, down 1.4%. So that's where we stand. Here's what was expected on Friday, and let's contrast that with what we got. On Friday, the expectation is we were likely to push into the 94-96 zone right in here. You can see the 97 is set as a stock zone. We're looking for it to push back to this point of control, the prior day's point of control, which was kind of heavy. And then from there, expected sellers to come in ahead of the 3,300 and sell this down to 3,450. That's the main idea. 96, 97 down to 34.50. 34.50. Here's what actually happened. This is a 6-tick Renko, just so we can fit the action on one screen. What we did is we opened a little bit higher, and then we pushed to 96 and a quarter, 96 and a quarter, came back through the mid. Lower high, 94, gives us a nice little setup here against a key area to push through. We push through. And then what do we get? We get the impulse as expected. Here's the impulse that we were expecting right there, with a follow-up impulse down. And what do we get? We get a nice little impulse here, and then it takes a while for us to see another push down. But what we ended up doing is we ended up taking this 34.50. It's right here. We actually got to it on the follow through on the first impulse right after the IB was in. We extend the IB down, and Friday was kind of not trying to offend anyone who finished down on the day. Of course, some win, some lose, but Friday was generous enough to give us another bite at the apple with a pullback to mid against the original low, and a continuation trade back to 34.50 again. It put in a low on Friday of 32.25 even. The overnight session put in a low at 32.26 even, and then we pushed up, and that's the overnight session that day. The current overnight session is 40 something. Where is it? 43.75. We rallied pretty strong on the close, but remember, Friday was end of month, and once the market started to push, it really continued to push pretty hard, and didn't back off at all. The interesting thing about Friday on this rally higher is the delta actually went down on that rally. Very, very odd. As the market was lifting price, the delta was selling, as you can see here. It was kind of pointing down as price was pointing up. The expectation on the close of Friday, but unfortunately, with the close of Friday, it's closed until Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. The expectation, given the way this was behaving, and given the fact that we were under the point of control, is we would likely come back and retest the developing point of control, or at least a 50, and that's basically what happened. We opened up in a gap down, small gap down, and then we immediately pushed back. We almost got to the 42. We went to 43.75, missed it by about 5 ticks or something like that, or 7 ticks actually, and then it turns around, consolidates for quite a bit through the Asian session, and then at 3 o'clock it takes off. Quite a few numbers came out overnight in the European markets. The manufacturing PMI numbers came in relatively strong across the board: Germany, France, Italy, Spain, the Eurozone, and Great Britain. And and there were some pretty good numbers. Manufacturing new orders, ISM manufacturing new orders is expected to come out later today. Also, the U.S. Market manufacturing PMI comes out at 15 minutes after the open, expecting 53.3. That's at 9:45 a.m. Market manufacturing PMI expecting 53.3, and an ISM manufacturing new orders coming out at 10, along with manufacturing prices and manufacturing employment. Construction spending also expected at 10 o'clock, expecting 0.7, and ISM manufacturing PMI also at 10. There's a lot clustered at 10 o'clock. The action is likely to be driven today by um, the action is likely to be driven today by the polling and whatever the news media is pushing through. Having a news feed is really likely, in my opinion, to pay for itself very quickly in this kind of environment, as it has actually for the last 4 years. It's important to keep to stay mindful of what is going on. It doesn't mean we trade the news. I'm not advocating for trading the news, but um, I'm simply saying it's important to know what could be driving, what might flip back, and what might just continue. Those of you asking about the election webcast tomorrow, there will not be a recording. There's no sense in recording something that is happening in real time. There will not be a recording released, and it's limited to 1,000 slots. Again, ft71.com/2020 election. We will not be releasing a recording. This is an impromptu. This is in the moment. And it will not be released as a recording later. And also, releasing a 4-hour recording is a little bit is pretty intense. So it's live. It's kind of a do or die thing. The election is a big deal. So if you want to attend, make sure you attend live. Again, it's limited to 1,000 slots. The overnight session, pretty good volume. Again, we've had pretty good volume in the overnight session and some pretty wide ranges over the last 3 or 4 sessions. Multiple distribution profile. We have an LVN zone right down in here against the afternoon high on Friday. The second distribution is down below. There's got to be a lot more volume to shift this point of control up from 3270. As long as it stays above this 83-ish area, then I'm expecting it to continue higher and push the overnight high. This is a cluttered area where we are. Where we are now, it's going to be quite cluttered. So we'll see. We'll see as we push through. One thing I wanted to do is make sure we go through the daily and see how things are playing out. Last week was quite a wide-ranging week with the coronavirus news, the numbers coming out, record cases, and record releases from the beginning of the virus. I know Illinois put in a record. The United States put in a record daily number of cases multiple times last week. The market got the jitters, and we have this big gap zone above us that we have to contend with. I'm expecting that we are likely to battle it today with this high volume node right here at 40. If you recall, this has been a major area going back. 40 and 60 are key areas in this 3300 handle. So what have we done? On Thursday, we took out the prior day's high, and it looked quite bullish actually, and we ended up leaving an excess high. We came back on Friday, and we opened in the middle of Thursday. We tested down, and what we did on Friday is the opposite. We found an excess low. It was testing this key low weak right here with the point of control. This is where that 3450 came from. It's the balance before the run up to 3541, about 300 points. And so we came in and we tested down to 25 and we left an excess low here. We left a pretty decent excess low. We traded quite a bit on top of this 45 area, and we are leaving that behind. So today is challenging the one-time framing down because Thursday popped through. Friday set the expectation or set the mode for one-time framing down to continue with the lower high, again lower low, and so we would expect lower highs to continue, but today is challenging that high, and it'll be a two-way challenge, expecting a two-way challenge and quite an embattled trade today. I expect to be both sides to be pushing. So we'll see how that goes. So with that being said, the one-time framing on the weekly, these black boxes, is still firmly to the downside. So the weekly trend is still to the downside, and the next big area to test above the 40 remains above in the 3390 area. So 3340, 3360, and then 3390 are the big stumbling blocks as we head higher. And those are likely to come into play for tomorrow's show, tomorrow's broadcast for the U.S. election. I'll be talking about them again. Let's talk about what's expected for today. But again, I want to make sure everybody knows about the live webcast from 8 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. since people join at different times. You can join it at ft71.com/2020 election. We will have 10 guests on, and I'll just be talking throughout. I'll be on camera. You'll have to look at my face all night long. I don't know how good that is, but I'll be on camera, and also most of our guests will be as well. We'll be talking macro, we'll be talking day trading, we'll be talking about what happened in 2016 with the 3 lock limit downs, and then the market coming back to unchanged by the morning once Trump was the clear winner, and so on and so forth. So what are we expecting for today? Here we go. So Friday's play, we just reviewed Friday, and that was pretty much spot on. Went to 94 to 97 area and went to 34.50. Today is a little more tricky, and more so tomorrow. I'm expecting, given the one-time framing down that's happening on the half hour, I'm expecting this to continue to explore lower. The overnight inventory is mixed, so I'm expecting this to challenge the what it has already done in the overnight session, expecting it to push down into the 3280, this 80 area here. And then we will see how this gets challenged. I'm expecting a bounce, and I'm looking for it to come back to the upper distribution and hold steady with a PM run higher towards the overnight stat at 2250. That's scenario 1. So I'm looking for the 80 here to give us pause, and then for it to start to push higher towards the high of Thursday. The secondary scenario, if it's not able to do that, I don't know what lies I'm spreading that you're talking about, but whatever, it's cool. The secondary scenario is an open auction that just sits here and then grinds its way to 2250 and pushes into this 29. The 3320's got some history right here. This area right here, the 1720's got some history. May see some resistance, but I'm looking for it to continue to squeeze higher before coming back in and finishing in range of the overnight tonight. There's a lot that's been covered, but because we're in a we're out of balance, I'm going to throw in a third scenario, and that is a quick push to 33.10 above 3300, squeeze potentially to 17, and then a drive down. And this drive will likely pop to 80 and then fall right through to get us into the overnight VPOC stat at 70 before we find buyers and consolidate in the lower distribution, setting us up for a lower balance on this session. So this will be a thin profile, B-shaped, like that. This is scenario 3. I'm expecting it to fall back in line and get back into the 3,200 handle and hold steady here. The market's got jitters about Biden, but the market's got jitters no matter what, because there's uncertainty here. It's going to be nervous. Okay, and when we're nervous, when fund managers are nervous, they're going to protect their money by allocating to safety. Okay, so that pulls money out of equities and puts them into money instruments like interest rates and things like that. Okay, good luck, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Don't forget to register today. Again, there are only 1,000 slots. Unfortunately, the software is limited in that way. There are going to be 1,000 slots, and the reason I'm not doing it on YouTube is because it's a webcast, and it gives me the GoToWebinar gives me the ability to have people on webcam without me having to manage feeds and Skype and whatever else. So it just makes it really simple to do. So again, ft71.com/2020 election. None of the comments that I've made today are political in nature. I don't care what your political taste is. I don't really care. This broadcast is about trading, and I'm only referencing politics in the way it impacts trading. Good luck, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.